episode 7. Yeah, 7.
Yeah.
My God, it's been too long, hasn't it? It's been what, like 2 weeks since we did this?
Yeah, it is.
2
Yeah,
weeks.
about that, yeah.
In this episode, we're going to be talking about Father's Day, the 8th episode of Doctor Who Season 1. I hope that's right. Yeah, that is right, because Dalek was episode 6 of this one.
Yeah.
And I'm your host, Dominic Parry, and with me today are...
Greg Toby.
James.
Right. Now, if you didn't already know, Father's Day follows a plot where Rose wants to get her father a present for Father's Day. And that's basically it for the whole episode. Pretty boring. James, what do you think of this episode?
Was that a joke about your sort of like description of that then?
It was. I was kind of I was kind of distracted when I said it.
I think it builds off last week's episode. I actually think quite well because, well, this episode's not going to go on because Adam's not here, so we won't talk about it. But it's like it's still playing with that idea, like, can the companion make mistakes, and the doctor, like, can the doctor still trust the companion?
Oh no, I didn't even think that. That really, I don't like that. No, it's too soon after the Adam thing.
Yeah, and
We didn't mention his name on the podcast.
No, we don't, because we'll go on for like 20 minutes.
No, but like the whole. I feel like if this hadn't happened straight after Adam had done it, it wouldn't have felt so like continuous.
I think after Adam, this episode feels a little redundant.
It does.
But I feel like with all these episodes of the series, that every episode has mattered in some sort of way in building. They don't feel like random episodes. Do you know what I mean? Every episode, like the one before, was a reverse of the end of the world.
Kind of.
Yeah, true. I mean, we haven't had any proper, like, redundant, like, proper filler.
I mean, End of the World is the one, and he probably Unquite Dead. But even though they have building characters and building the world, but do you want me to like tell you what the description of this episode was? Do you want the tagline? Do you want the idea?
Were you there? Were you just continuing to talking then?
Yeah, yeah. But
God fucking damn it, because that just cut out.
But we're still talking. We can cut this out. Okay, I'll count in.
All right.
1.
Did Greg cut out?
Greg?
No.
Greg, are you there?
Okay, I'll count in now.
All right, we'll just have to...
Okay, silence for the next few seconds.
Go at 3 minutes and 15.
Okay, so as I was saying, the synopsis for this episode clearly is broken down as in, Back to the Future.
Yeah.
When he pushes, literally, Back to the Future was the inspiration for this episode. The kid saves the dad from getting run over.
Yeah.
Oh, the kid has now set up a new timeline. This is if that basically, it's if Back to the Future went wrong. That's what it is. If it went proper wrong, like what would the repercussions be in the Doctor Who universe, as opposed to, because it is Back to the Future though, isn't it? Like, you see your parents young, you see how they act.
All right, yeah, young, but 18-year younger Jackie looks the same. Apart from the hair.
But do you see what I'm trying to say though? With like, it's just a reverse. It's Back to the Future. It literally is. Like, you have your parents younger, you see them when they were younger. But what I liked about it is Rose is sort of disappointed, but not in like an egregiously over the top way. Like, Pete Tyler's not a woman, like he's not like a depraved, horrible person. But he isn't necessarily like the grand stories that Jackie told her.
Well,
no, he's just a regular bloke.
It's all depressing.
Usually no one is as amazing as people describe them as.
No,
or bad. It goes either way.
But he's not terrible. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's like he's not, but it's sort of oddly depressing.
Yeah.
It's the whole, like never meet your heroes.
Yeah, it's literally that. And I mean,
But anyway, to cut you off, James. Greg, what do you think of this episode?
It's all right. I mean, it's enjoyable, sure. It definitely shows what James said. The repercussions of changing the timeline. I do think that like there's not enough emphasis put on this episode because it does feel like it's supposed to be this big important event. Meeting Rose's dad, who's like you're wondering, oh, why is he absent? And then you realize that he's meant to be dead. But yeah, it's good, but that's it.
It is just good.
mm,
There's who would you say is the standout star of this episode?
it's Pete.
It's Pete,
Really?
yeah.
And
Really?
it's Pete and Rose. I mean,
For emotion, I would say yeah, but I think for overall entertainment value, I'd say Jackie Tyler.
I think the Doctor's interaction with younger Jackie.
But the Doctor's barely in this episode, really.
No,
Because it's not about him, though.
No, it's
No,
not.
but
I-
it's weird at this point. Like the Doctor is the main guy, and he's not really there.
But
So
if it was always about him, he doesn't allow other characters to grow, or even him to grow as much. I don't know. But
I mean, he does. He literally dies in this episode.
I think the thing is with the Doctor in this, it's like, can the Doctor didn't forgive Adam, can the Doctor forgive Rose?
Yeah, that's
Well,
the big question being posed here.
It's like
he fucks up himself because he doesn't really kind of enforce the rule on her. He doesn't tell her what's going to happen if she does it. Like,
but he didn't know either.
no. But that's he does know because he knows what they are. So he knows that that's what'll come. So for him to not tell her, if you do this, we're literally going to die. It feels a bit irresponsible of him to then lash out at her.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's the whole point, because even he says he's a bit, oh, I'm sorry, but I just don't know what we're gonna do, because he just doesn't have the answers. If he had the answers, I don't think he would have been as angry.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's about, and I think I'm glad they cleared it up, because I'm thinking, hang on, so you're telling me Jackie doesn't remember the Doctor, but then I realise, because it's all timey, it's all time she forgets.
It's such a. I hate those explanations, but it makes sense in this episode. See, in the Doctor Who, They're the Doctor and any Doctor crossover episodes, when they say, "Oh, they won't remember it because of this," it feels like, well, that's just a bullshit explanation. In this, it feels it works
because it's a time problem.
Yeah, and they're all trapped. They're in this one moment essentially.
Yeah.
They can't do anything. They can't go anywhere. So, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like I think Pete being the way he is a little bit depressing, but honest.
Well, it's meant to be.
I know, it's just
if he was a superstar, amazing guy, it'd be a bit too perfect, and
yeah, it'd be incredibly cliche, I think.
Yeah, cliche is the right word, and this
he
goes
sort of
against
rocks
it.
up in his fancy sports car, takes off his shades. Hi, I'm Pete Tyler. Like, no, you don't do that.
I make fruit drinks.
But the funny thing is, right? The funny thing is, though, at the time this came out, one of the things they have as his next plan is the solar panel thing, which if he'd done that would have made them a lot of money.
But is that a joke? I
think it must be, because he's saying to Jackie "Oh, I've got this I'm gonna make it. It'll be fine."
Did you catch Rick Astley?
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, we all got rickrolled.
Song. Best choice song. Yeah, nothing to set the year. Yeah.
I mean, did you see the Thatcher posters?
And the Bad Wolf.
What was the Bad Wolf? I didn't catch.
Right next to the Thatcher posters.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah, so when they're walking around that like corner,
Mm.
so you know the corner they hide behind,
Yeah. Oh, it's that.
right where
Yeah.
they hide, literally right where they hide, they cover a bad wolf thing which they walk past. It's the first one. It's the first like non-explicit one that I've kind of seen because I haven't really been looking for them.
Yeah, but I didn't
Because I
catch
know
that
that in
one.
every episode, isn't it? Or something. I
Maybe
think it's
quite
every episode.
explicit, like Bad Wolf 12, or Bad Wolf 1, or Bad Wolf
Yeah,
literally
like
outside the TARDIS.
Bad Wolf Bay comes up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first subtle bad wolf.
Is the dumpster that was earlier this season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The graffiti on the dumpster and stuff. But yeah, Bad Wolf, because we're getting closer to it.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
it's literally the next episode from this. I mean, well, we got Boomtown. That's when it all comes together. Let's
Most
start.
important
But-
episode.
Don't forget, we have
Yeah.
Captain Jack. I honestly, I don't really know what to say about this episode because it's a very character-driven episode, which
like next
I
episode
can't.
we'll probably talk. The next 2 episodes we'll probably talk up for a good 40 minutes.
I think we'll do those together for
Yeah.
sure.
But no, Father's Day is a
Like-
great episode. It's Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's Back to the Future with really badly CGI'd dragon bats.
Giant bats, yeah.
Which have no explanation at all.
It's the same CGI every time, though, isn't it? It's like rah, and it's like
no. It's like it's even like when you see them fly in the sky. They're literally just like
they go in circles. Like it's
Yeah, just put up in the corner.
yeah, like
They
the
remind
one in the corner was like did such a like curved route. I was like,
Yeah,
that is so obviously
if you know,
made because it's
yeah, if you know anything of like 3D modeling and like animation.
well, it's like that whole thing of you can't model realistic reactions to stuff because stuff doesn't move like kind of logically.
No, because if I was to like throw a ball and reverse that image, that video, I wouldn't be catching it properly. And if I was to catch a ball and reverse that, I wouldn't be throwing it normally.
But if it's like the whole thing of like, if you knock, if you hit a tree, which way is it going to fall?
True.
Like you can't choose that, and how is it going to fall?
Theory.
Yeah. So that I feel comes in.
Talking about like with Tenet and everything. Is this This isn't the grandfather paradox. Because it is a bit of a paradox.
No. This isn't.
No.
The whole the thing with Rose touching the baby.
That's just an excuse to get one of them in.
It's such a bad excuse though because it's like Rose is smarter than this in other episodes.
But is it? And I thought, oh my god! Because I remember that I know she holds the baby, and I know she holds herself, and then the Reaper comes in. But I forgot how. But it's really Pete just shoving the baby on her.
Is it her or is it Jackie?
No. Pete grabs Rose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like look,
and
it's Rose. See,
she's not going to drop a baby.
No.
I mean, that would be pretty funny, wouldn't it? She just drops it and like she just starts to fade away, and it's just like, oh, what a dark turn.
But no, it is Back to the Future because it's like the whole saving your dad from being run over, your parents not being exactly how you imagine them. But here's the thing: I feel like George McFly is more what's the word? It's more like
Good.
It's more like Marty meeting Lorraine more so than Marty meeting George. Because George,
definitely.
Because George, like, you'll probably like this. But with Lorraine, it's because it's going to talk Back to the Future, but we'll probably inflate the runtime back. But in Back to the Future, Lorraine says, "Oh, you'll never see me in cars with boys. You'll never see me do this." She goes,
and then we see all that in the 50s.
And we see all that in the 50s, and then obviously he's making all the influences. It's a nice little story circle like how everyone plays that, and they even make a joke about Back to the Future in this. I just realised.
Do they?
Yeah, when Pete says, "Oh, you're a pretty girl," like.
Oh, the hitting on thing
He's
because
not.
his mum hits on him.
No. Yeah. And,
I was watching it with Sam, and he was just, and it like after that scene, he was like, he just laughed and said, "Well, that'd be incest." It's just like, I mean, yeah, say it out loud. And he didn't approve of the new Doctor until I told him that it was 2005. So, but what if, right? What if this was like a turn left episode?
It very much is.
No, I mean like full on. Imagine if it had been like a full on turn left episode.
It would have been way too early.
We see the
I
event.
know, but
we see the actual events.
if they did this later, then like if they redid this in like season 2, late season 2, whatever, full on turn left, she like saves her dad, and then they're instantly like taken out of it and like chucked into the future.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like, you sort of run up into the future and you sort of forget the Doctor, and then the Doctor's like, yeah, I mean, but then it would have been turn left.
Well, no, because in that version it'd be he died in the Auton invasion.
Yeah.
So Autons would have decimated like a large part of the country.
But the point in Return Left is it's a bit more than just say Donna. It's a bit more that everything happens between them. So having just the Autons is no stakes. It's not. But I would say it's more similar to Amy's Choice.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amy's Choice is the Father's Day.
But it's not even Amy's. It's not even Rose's choice. Pete makes the sacrifice.
Yeah, but talking about this sort of alternate reality, what I want, what I don't want, what must happen, what I don't want to happen. It's the same. If you really look at Series 5, it mirrors a lot of Series 1.
Yeah. There was a line in this that made me cringe between Pete and Rose.
Go on.
It was like, he said, like, "Who am I?" or something, and she went, "You're my daddy." I was just like, it made me cringe hearing that. Like, don't know why, it just did. Weird side note, but
yeah, I mean, I think it's just to make it more, it's meant to be like vulnerable.
I know, but it just felt like weird. Like, I don't know, because she's 19, and I just find it weird when people were like of that age. Like, I don't know.
I was even trying to work out how old she was. It was 1987. She's like less than 1, right? So 1987 plus 19, that runs you up to 2006. Actually, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it works out. Because she's a baby, and she's not a small baby.
Hey, but that doesn't make sense because she's 19 in 2005, which is no, it's close enough.
Because the baby looks to be about 1.
Oh, how about Mickey?
It's a big baby. Mickey. He's old. He's like...
Yeah, it's just like...
He must be like 7.
Here's the thing. Jackie, you will accuse him of murder one day.
Of course you will. Why wouldn't you? You accuse any child who literally was with you your whole life.
And, yeah, but
where will Mickey... Oh yeah, Mickey's aunt gets killed.
Yeah, well, killed, yeah.
Yeah, she comes back, but she's killed.
I didn't care for anybody in the church.
That's what the problem was. It was like...
But
I don't think we were meant to, though.
No, you're not supposed to. It's not an ensemble, really, even though
it's like this, in the Titanic episode, whatever that was called.
That's an ensemble.
But in that episode, when you see Wilf in the thingy, you care instantly about that character.
Yeah, because it's the humbleness of it. And then you realise...
It's... the guy's dad gets killed, and it's like...
I could give less...
Why am I meant to care?
Yeah.
Like, a dude gets killed, and his son's like, "My dad's dead," and the doctor's like, "You can mourn later," and it's just like... Why?
Yeah.
Because you haven't explained what's going on to anyone.
I think would say yeah.
I usually hate exposition, but I feel like this episode might have needed a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, It's fine. It's very character driven. I wouldn't say it's derivative of Back to the Future, but it's heavily inspired.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting idea, but
Mm,
it's been done before, and it's been done better before.
that's
Like,
right.
there's no real stakes in this episode because you know it's going to be fine at the end. There's going to be no changes.
Yeah, but it's
The only
how
change
those
we
changes
see,
occur.
I know, but the only change we see is that Jackie tells a different story about how, how the guy in the car stayed till the police and the ambulance has got there. So, he ran out into the road instead of just, like, stepping out.
Yeah,
Which kind of, like, did they think he committed suicide? Because
Jackie
that's what it looked like.
Well, Jackie knew. It's weird. It's just like it's all paradoxical. So
Because I would have thought, right, they would have done it where it's like he gets hit by the car and it just resets to the normal timeline.
See, that's what
Like,
I thought. Yeah,
because that makes the most sense. It goes straight back to what it was before.
yeah, exactly. With everything back in place.
But it's like, nah,
I
he
love how
does
the
it at a different
car's
point now.
Yeah, I like how the car is always like. So what's special? I don't know. It's weird. Like
What, popping in and out?
I like how the car is conveniently outside the church.
Even though it was nowhere near the church before.
Yeah.
It makes sense because it has to
I
be, like,
understand the car being
in
on
reach.
loop. I understand the car being on loop, but not where it is. Unless
It's
No.
just, it's circumstantial.
Unless it's trying to get close to Pete.
It's a Pete
I mean,
seeking
it's
car.
time trying to
Compensate.
correct itself.
I mean, they could have just thrown the car through the church. They want to do that. Just, this car came flying through the church doors and just hit Pete. But
Yeah, see, there you go. Still got hit by the car.
it just happened to be that everyone else witnessed it, and it was a horrifically tragic event that scarred everyone in there for life. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say about this episode.
It's such a weird episode because I can tell you it's a good episode. I think it's a great episode, but there's just not much to talk about. It's weird.
One question I have is with the TARDIS, like, why is it like when the whole like Pete living happened? Why would that like render the TARDIS like useless? Because like the entire interior was gone. Like,
Story episode.
No.
We need
That's
to get
such a
rid of the
weird
TARDIS somehow
thing.
because we've got a time paradox.
Because why would the TARDIS disappear inside? Like, wouldn't it be better if he did?
Yeah.
It was one of those like dead
the TARDIS had
TARDISes.
nothing to do with it.
Yeah, like if he ran in and like the TARDIS is just dormant, like he just he can't turn anything on.
I think it was meant to have become a police box.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but it's an episode.
Because police boxes were gone by that point.
Yeah.
We need to get rid of the TARDIS somehow and whatnot, so
Burn it.
yeah.
But
Anyway,
yeah, it's a good episode.
It's a good
Greg,
episode.
have you got anything else to say on it?
Not really, no. It's just enjoyable, yeah.
It's an alright episode. It's not a filler episode.
No,
but
it's
it's nothing special.
But yeah.
We'll see you next week for what are they called? The Doctor Dancers and the other one. The Empty Child. The Empty Child and the Doctor Dancers. Yeah,
I
those
can't
should be
wait
good
to watch
episodes.
those 2 episodes. Yeah, that'll be a good watch, listen to, because it's like there's so much to say about those episodes, and I feel like it's gonna be one of those things. How the hell did these episodes like? Yeah, scary. Honestly, how scary it is.
We'll see you next week. So yeah, see you then.